The Young and the Restless Spoilers Weekly Update for October 20th, 24 tease that Christine's special celebration takes an unexpected turn. Meanwhile, Nick worries about Noah and ends up meeting Sienna in his quest for answers. Plus, Mariah confronts her past. Could it be Ray Wise? Tune in next week so you can catch all of the action in Genoa City. Victor, Eric Braden, gave Nick, Joshua Morrow, an ultimatum that forced his son to reevaluate his loyalties and priorities within the Newman family. Meanwhile, Kane, Billy Flynn, tapped into Phyllis's, Michelle Stafford, fiery determination, using her unique skill set to help him gain an upper hand in his latest business maneuver. In Los Angeles, Sharon Case, shattered when a situation spiraled out of control, prompting her to make a desperate and emotional distress call to Nick after Noah, Lucas Adams, had been in an accident. Jill, Jess Walton, made a life-altering decision that affected both her relationship with Billy, Jason Thompson, and the future of their shared business interests. Determined to protect his own vision, Kyle, Michael Mealer, played hardball over Claire, Haley Aaron, demanding that Victoria, Amelia Heinleip, give him information. Meanwhile, Holden, Nathan Owens, unexpectedly crossed paths with someone from his past, Sienna, Tamara Braun. Nick and Sharon's world was shaken when they received devastating news about their son, leaving them terrified and uncertain about what lay ahead. As the weight of the tragedy spread, Nate, Sean Dominic, stepped in to comfort Victoria, offering strength and understanding during her time of grief. In Los Angeles, Claire's attempt to escape the pressures of her life took an unexpected detour, forcing her to confront emotions she'd been trying to outrun. When patience no longer served her, Nikki, Melody Thomas Scott, took matters into her own hands, determined to protect her family by any means necessary. Far from Genoa City, Tessa, Kate Fairbanks, visited Mariah, Cameron Grimes, in Boston, desperate to bridge the growing distance between them. At the same time, Nick and Sharon's search for answers led them to troubling questions when Detective Burrow, Matt Cohen, suggested Noah's accident had been on purpose. Jack, Peter Bergman, decided it was time to clear the air with Billy, hoping an honest conversation could finally mend their fractured bond. Still reeling from recent events, Nick pressed forward in his search for answers about the crash that nearly destroyed his family. Meanwhile, Audra, Zuleika Silver, was confronted with a painful reminder of her past in the form of what happened with Holden. Hello, everyone! Welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. Things are heating up in the Young and Restless Spoilers preview for the week of October 20th. Kyle is still in Los Angeles and spies Holden talking with Sienna discreetly in the corner of the rooftop eatery where he previously saw Claire. "What are you doing?" Claire asks Kyle, having come up behind him as he watches Holden. Kyle smugly turns around to face his former girlfriend and asks, "The more important question is, what is Holden doing? And who is he doing it with?" How will Claire react to Kyle's question? Phyllis crashes the Bachelorette party being thrown for Christine at the Jazz Lounge. The women are caught off guard. "So sweet, not a dry eye in the house," Phyllis says as she enters the room filled with joy, obviously bitter to be on the outside looking in. In attendance, drinking champagne, are Lauren, Tracy, Diane, Victoria, and Abby. "What are you doing here?" Christine asks, obviously displeased to see her rival interrupting her special party. Determined to cause trouble, Phyllis snaps, "Is this a private party, or can anyone join?" What will the women do next? Tessa, heartbroken by her wife Mariah, struggles to make it up the stairs. She's stumbling as Daniel tries to help her. Whoa, I got you," Daniel tells his music tutor. As they come to a stop, they suddenly kiss. Get a sneak peek at some of the drama coming up this week on Y&R in the preview video below, and share your own predictions of what's coming up in the comments. And don't forget to check out our spoilers gallery for a look at what's next on all the soaps the week of October 20. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Audra'S may risk arrest by spilling a buried secret. Will Audra's revelation help Nick Newman solve Noah Newman's case? Back when Audra was living in Los Angeles, she got into a jam that Holden Novak helped her deal with. Holden blamed Audra for the mess, which was obviously illegal based on some of the comments he's made. Claire Newman has tried to pry the whole story out of Holden, but he doesn't want her thinking the worst of him and consistently clams up. However, that buried secret will surely be revealed to fans sooner or later. The timing may be right now that Noah's landed in some trouble of his own. Noah's own mess is linked to Sienna Bacall and Roger Howarth's character, who will likely end up being Sienna's boyfriend, Mitch. If Mitch is to blame for Noah's crash, he might be to blame for Audra's situation that spiraled out of control. Audra may have information that could prove crucial to Nick's understanding of Noah's case, but will she divulge it? Based on Audra's reaction to the news of Noah's crash, she definitely still cares about him. Audra isn't someone who falls in love easily, but Noah truly captured her heart back when they were a couple. As a result, Audra may risk arrest by telling Nick the whole ugly story of whatever went down with Holden and potentially Mitch. Perhaps Audra will make a stunning confession and help Nick make sense of all this. Although Audra has been at odds with Victor Newman, she may come through for his grandson in the end. Y&R is dropping hints about Audra and Noah getting back together after he comes out of his coma, so it'll be interesting to see if Zuleika Silver and Lucas Adam have on-screen chemistry. This Los Angeles storyline will keep pulling more characters into it, so Audra may be one of them soon enough. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Nick and Sharon Newman will do whatever they can to find out the real story of Noah's ordeal, so stay tuned for updates on how Audra might help. The night that the Daytime Emmy Awards were handed out, The Young and the Restless, Mark Grossman, didn't just walk the red carpet, he strolled down it with Katie Johnson on his arm. Who is the new woman in his life? Johnson is a triple threat. Not only is she a travel blogger, she's a realtor in Los Angeles and, well, you could have guessed this one just by looking at her, a model. Over the summer, Grossman shared that they'd been from Zion to Horseshoe Bend, with a few stops along the way, and Iceland. Every direction looks like a postcard, the actor marveled. And it did not disappoint. Wow, Johnson chimed in on that post. Your GF is an incredible photographer. She's joking, but she's not wrong either. See below. She's got an eye. In response to Grossman's Daytime Emmys post, Johnson cheered that, I had the most handsome date ever. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Kyle Abbott and Sienna Bacall are on a collision course. An interrogation will follow some Holden Novak spy games, so let's discuss the drama ahead in Los Angeles. Y&R fans will recall how Kyle flew to LA in hopes of changing Claire Newman's mind about their future together. Kyle was hoping to win Claire back, but derailing her bonding experience with Holden was arguably his priority. Claire wasn't happy about Kyle's pushy behavior and made it clear that she had no intention of trading tour guides. Holden and Claire's trip has been going well so far, but that doesn't mean Kyle is done trying to come between them. Kyle announced that he had some meetings in Los Angeles and would be sticking around for a few days. That'll give Kyle a chance to spy on Holden and try to score some dirt to change Claire's perspective. During the week of October 20th to 24th, Kyle will get smug after watching Holden in a fraught moment with Sienna. It'll be clear that something is going on, so Kyle will make sure Claire sees for herself that Holden is acting all tense and spending time with a mystery woman. Of course, that woman isn't a mystery to Claire, who already met Sienna at the nightclub she runs. Claire may rush to Holden's defense, even if she has questions deep down about what he might be hiding. Kyle will have questions of his own, so he'll continue his Holden investigation and will ultimately decide Sienna could be of use to him. We'll see Kyle confront Sienna and put her through a grilling session, which you can bet she won't appreciate. Sienna may warn Kyle to back off if he knows what's good for him. Kyle's intimidation tactics probably aren't going to work on someone like Sienna, who may toss some threats around and turn the tables. Although Kyle may be hoping to uncover the truth about Holden and Audra'S' past, he may get tangled up in the current Noah Newman drama once he starts digging. Regardless, The Young and the Restless spoilers say Kyle and Sienna will collide for an LA face-off, so stay tuned for updates on any news he might uncover, despite her attempts to stonewall him. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, October 21st, reveal that Daniel Romalotti Jr. will rescue Tessa Porter and get a smooch in return. Kane Ashby will also have a doomed plan, so let's discuss what's coming up in Genoa City. For starters, Kane will speak with Devin Winters and try to clear the air. We'll see Kane apologize for his past mistakes and assure Devin that he only wants his family's approval. Since Kane is desperate to fix his relationship with Lily Winters and the twins, he may feel like making progress with Devin would help. Devin's opinion certainly matters to Lily, so Kane will try to patch things up with him. Of course, Devin doesn't trust Kane at all and probably never will. Kane has done too much damage at this point for Devin to ever think he'd be worthy of Lily again. Devin may make it crystal clear to Kane that he'd never support his romantic reunion with Lily. As for Maddie Ashby and Charlie Ashby, Devin won't blame them for keeping their walls up and protecting themselves when it comes to their shady father. Meanwhile, Y&R spoilers say Phyllis will take quite a gamble, so Kane could get updates on some big news. We'll see Phyllis take some sort of risk, so that could involve a way to improve Kane's reputation and win his approval. Then again, maybe Phyllis's risk could be a more personal one, like planting a kiss on Kane. Since Phyllis will be feeling a lot of complex emotions when it comes to Danny Romalotti and Christine Blair's upcoming wedding, she might get swept up in a close moment with Kane and lock lips with him at some point. Kane is feeling lonely and unmoored, so he might surrender to temptation with Phyllis too sooner or later. Over with Tessa, she'll drown her sorrows and find herself in need of support. Daniel will help tipsy Tessa up to a suite at the GCAC, which will lead to her surprising him with a smooch on the staircase. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the next 2 weeks, October 20th to October 31st, reveal that Nick Newman and Sienna Bacall will have their first meeting, while Kane Ashby and Phyllis Summers may kick off a passionate mess. During the week of October 20th to 24th, Phyllis will crash Christine Blair's Bachelorette party and kick off another round of hostility. There'll also be a power outage that affects both Christine's pre-wedding celebration and Danny Romalotti's Bachelor Bash, but Phyllis thankfully won't be responsible for that part. After Tessa Porter gets drunk and kisses Daniel Romalotti Jr., Daniel will make a difficult choice. Since things are getting complicated between them, Daniel may consider backing out of the song performance that he agreed on with Tessa. Next, Mariah Copeland's past will come back to haunt her as awful memories swirl. That could involve both the hotel horror with Will Hensley and all the Ian Ward turmoil she's endured. Meanwhile, Y&R spoilers say Phyllis will opt to make a risky move. We'll also see Phyllis catch Kane off guard, which will lead to an understanding between them. If Phyllis locks lips with Kane, it could lead to some deeper passion on his train, or even at the GKC. Kane and Phyllis may not find lasting love with each other, but could they at least find a sizzling mutual distraction? After Nick and Sharon Newman fret over Noah Newman's medical woes, they'll turn their attention back to the investigation into his crash. Detective Burrow may have more updates at some point, but is he even a real detective, or just posing as one? Burrow should have some explaining to do once Nick finds out the truth about what he's up to and who he's working for. Nick will also trade introductions with Sienna as he works to figure out what kind of trouble Noah was stuck in out in Los Angeles. Plus, Kyle Abbott will be on a mission to uncover Holden Novak dirt, so he'll grill Sienna after he spots her with Holden. Back in Genoa City, Sally will step up for Audra'S in a big way, and perhaps convince Jill Abbott to keep the funding in place, even with Audra on board at Abbott Communications. However, Audra's thoughts may keep drifting to Noah during the week of October 27th-31st. Noah's crash will leave Audra concerned and could drag her into the LA mayhem that's happening eventually. As for Phyllis, she's got an unexpected romance in her future, so that may involve Kane. Once Kane and Phyllis cross over into passionate territory, it may be hard for them to shut it down, though Kane's heart will still belong to Lily Winters. Finally, there'll be more wedding prep and additional opportunities for drama ahead of Christine and Danny's nuptials, but they'll hold out hope that they can successfully tie the knot. The Young and the Restless spoilers say the next 2 weeks will bring some unraveling mysteries and plenty of jaw-dropping news, so stay tuned. The Young and the Restless spoilers update for Monday, October 20th reveals that Christine Blair's crazy insult will trigger Phyllis Summers' Bachelorette Bash meltdown. At the athletic club, Devin Winters and Abby Winters will visit the Jazz Lounge without realizing it's reserved for Christine's pre-wedding party. Abby will get talked into sticking around and joining Christine for this festive occasion. Devin will also wind up at Danny Romalotti's bachelor celebration, which will be happening upstairs. As for Nate Hastings and Victoria Newman, their plan to have dinner at the GCAC will get nixed thanks to all the party action. It'll work out just fine since Victoria will land at Christine's bash, while Nate enjoys a night with the guys. Michael Baldwin will be in charge of Danny's bachelor party, which will ultimately include Devin, Nate, and Jack Abbott as well. There'll be some funny stories and marriage advice as Danny prepares for his big day. After Michael spots Phyllis lurking, he'll try to shut down the trouble he'll assume she's going to stir up. Phyllis won't listen and will sneak down to Christine's bachelorette gathering anyway once she gets updates on the party news. Christine will be having a wonderful time with Abby, Victoria, Lauren Fenmore Baldwin, Tracy Abbott, and Diane Jenkins Abbott when Phyllis wrecks the fun. Although Christine will suggest she thought they got all their barbs out earlier, Phyllis will counter that she's got a bottomless bag of barbs and will push the bugs buttons again. Lauren will pull Phyllis away from the actual guests and try to get rid of her. Christine will eventually follow them and get under Phyllis's skin by calling her crazy. After Phyllis nearly attacks Christine twice, she'll finally stomp back upstairs and rant to Danny about his bride-to-be going too far. Once Phyllis is gone, Danny and Christine will end up combining their parties into one giant love fest in the Jazz Lounge. Unfortunately, the power will go out and plunge them all into darkness, so several partygoers will think Phyllis could be at fault. However, Phyllis will seem confused about the power outage in the dining area. Danny will reappear and wonder if she was responsible, but Nate will insist a failed transformer from a construction site is to blame, since he asked a staff member. Once Danny is alone with Phyllis, she'll get weepy over Christine calling her crazy, since she'll indeed feel like she went crazy when she was held hostage with Sharon Newman. Phyllis will try to make peace with Danny's marriage decision, since she'll want his happiness, so they'll be on good terms as this discussion winds down. That said, Phyllis will opt to skip the joint party when Danny urges her to come back down with him on Monday's Y&R episode. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Danny will end the festivities with a song, so it'll be a great way to conclude the Bachelor and Bachelorette shindigs. Kyle thought it would be romantic to follow Claire to Los Angeles, even though she wants nothing to do with him. This week's messiest move goes to Kyle on The Young and the Restless. He got the wild idea that it would be romantic to follow Claire to Los Angeles. Kyle wants to have the upper hand in his relationship with Claire. Well, how did that work out for him? First, he thought it would be romantic to pop the question, even though she wanted a break. Claire needed time to figure out what to do next, but Kyle assumed that speeding up their relationship would be the best resolution. That led to their eventual breakup. Now, Claire wants to figure herself out. For most of her life, she was told who to be and what to do by her great-aunt Jordan. It's imperative for Claire to figure out who she really is, without anyone dictating that for her, even Kyle. Once again, Kyle's not respecting that. He's overstepping her boundaries on Y&R by borderline stalking her. Kyle thinks it's romantic to follow her to LA, even though he's the last person she wants to see right now. There's nothing romantic about violating one's boundaries in space. But in Kyle's mind, he thinks it's okay because he's rich and powerful. He should be allowed to do whatever he wants, regardless of consequences. Kyle used Victoria to find out where Claire was staying, so he could get a room in that same hotel. He surprised her with a bouquet, but she wasn't impressed. She wanted to know why he was keeping tabs on her. What's even messier is that Kyle told Claire that she looked like she had a late night. He's concerned about how she's spending her free time. But what Kyle forgot is that Claire is a single woman who's allowed to do whatever she wants. Then, he asked if Holden was staying in the same hotel. Claire told him to return home with his flowers. After a tense conversation, Kyle sticks with his plans on staying in Los Angeles. He told Claire that he was working remotely from his hotel room and that he would be available if she needed him. But it's far from romantic or cute. It's showing that Kyle is becoming possessive of Claire. Hopefully, he realizes his mistake and goes back to Genoa City. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that there are 4 soapalicious plot twists on the horizon that could rearrange many lives in Genoa City. Let's take a look at how these turns could affect your favorite characters. Kane Ashby vowed to Lily Winters and their twins that he is still the same good guy he always was, just without the Aussie accent. Can he prove this outrageous claim? Maybe, but before that occurs, we can spill that his behavior could very well get worse. How could he sink any lower, you ask? How about if he and Phyllis Summers get involved? That would rock GC and his loved ones to their core. The ongoing historic war between Victor Newman and Jack Abbott is about to flare up in a big way. Right now, they have a loose alliance based on defeating Kane, but at some point, they stop and redirect their venom toward each other. Believe it or not, there are still stones to be unturned in this historic battle, and what is coming up will have the power to destroy lives in among the Newman and Abbott families. Next up, we have a new villain to shake things up in GC. The intro to the new bad guy coincides with Noah Newman's devastating car crash in LA. Someone arranged for his car to fall down a ravine, and this is the bad guy who has it in for Noah. We know that Roger Howarth has joined the show, and it could be his character that is involved, and with Sienna Bacall, who debuted this week. Sienna is involved with a guy named Mitch, and he could be the one after Noah. Whoever this person is, Nick Newman wants payback. And once Victor Newman gets the news, Noah's grandfather wants revenge. Noah is in bad shape after the crash. When he wakes up, he could have the legendary soap amnesia or worse. Are a few serious personality changes in store for the notorious good guy? Noah is a sweet man, but a traumatic brain injury could change all that. Red-hot Y&R spoilers hint that Noah awakes determined to forge his new path better than ever. Parents. Nick and Sharon Newman are worried, however, as it appears that their son has gotten in bed with a rough crowd. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that these 4 things will change everything in GC. Be sure to catch up on everything happening with The Young and the Restless right now. Come back here often for the hottest Y&R updates, news, and spoilers. Get comfortable and gain access to the best soap intel on the web. The Young and the Restless spoilers are in for the week of October 20th, 2025. Fans can expect Kyle Abbott to interrogate Sienna Bacall. Kane Ashby tries to make amends with Devin Winters. Plus, Mariah Copeland is haunted by her past. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Let's start off with Sienna, who has just come onto the scene. Fans saw the club owner interact with Holden Novak and Claire Grace Newman. Then, Kyle watches as Holden has a hushed conversation with Sienna at the hotel. Claire does approach Kyle and asks what the heck he's doing. That is when Kyle gets nasty and makes more allegations about Claire's dynamic with Holden. As the week progresses, Kyle confronts Sienna and demands the truth about Holden. I can't see Sienna blurting anything out to entitled Kyle. She doesn't seem like the type to play with nonsense and fools. She might end up giving Kyle a warning of her own. Over with Kane, he reconnects with Devin. The tycoon will try to make amends. However, when Devin feels wronged or someone he cares about has been targeted, he can be rather unforgiving. So, I'm not sure if Devin will believe Kane and might tell him to prove it. The Young and the Restless, spoilers for the week of October 20th, reveal that Mariah will be haunted by her past. There have been headlines stating Ian Ward is coming back. So, he might appear in Mariah's memories or flashbacks as she processes her trauma and killer reaction to the bar stranger. Meanwhile, Tessa Porter makes a bold move. This is probably her kiss with Daniel Romalotti Jr. However, Tessa seems drunk while Daniel doesn't. So, I wonder if he will stop Tessa from making a mistake she'll regret. Fans will also see Nate Hastings get a surprise invitation. Phyllis Summers plots payback toward Christine Blair. Later, Phyllis and Kane come to an understanding. Sally Spectra goes out on a limb for Audra'S. Nick Newman and Sharon Newman worry about Noah Newman's medical condition. Plus, Nick meets Sienna. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of October 20th, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates reveal Kyle Abbott went through a devastating heartbreak recently, with Claire Newman dumping him. Given that Claire appears to have found a new love, it's possible that Kyle could also be on the verge of discovering a new romance as well. As viewers have noticed, Kyle's lies have finally caught up to him. His kiss with Audra'S and his deal with Victor Newman have pushed Claire Newman away. Claire has since ended her relationship with Kyle and may be moving on with Holden Novak. However, Kyle is still not ready to give up on Claire. Meanwhile, another potential love interest might be waiting for him, though he may not see it yet. To win Claire back, Kyle has sought help from her mother, Victoria Newman. They have been spending more time together, with Victoria guiding Kyle on how to win her daughter back. That being said, things might take a different turn. As the two spend time together and discuss love, a connection could form between Victoria and Kyle. After all, Victoria is also dealing with a similar heartbreak. She is currently single because of Cole Howard's death. It's possible that they could grow closer as they both grieve their lost loves. As the saying goes, misery loves company, and it can be comforting to be alone together. The fact that Victoria and Claire are mother and daughter might make fans less interested in this storyline. However, similar situations have occurred with other characters in Genoa City. Fans may remember that Ashley Abbott once gave up Ben Stitch Rayburn for her daughter, Abby Newman. Victoria has been involved in similar plots before. Cole had an affair with Nikki Newman prior to starting a relationship with her. Later on, Victoria married Brad Carlton, who was once engaged to her mother. This marriage ended because of her affair with J.T. Hellstrom, who was dating her stepdaughter, Colleen Carlton. However, it seems unlikely that Victoria would betray Claire in this way, especially since she is trying to help Kyle. But on the other hand, it could create good drama. It might even lead to a negative turn for Claire's character and make her not so goody two-shoes. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the next 3 weeks, October 20th to November 7th, reveal that Noah Newman will wake up. There'll also be an epic wedding to remember while Detective Burrow gets busted, so Y&R fans won't want to miss all the excitement. The week of October 20th, 24 will bring out Phyllis Summers' troublemaker tendencies, so look for her to wreck Christine Blair's Bachelorette bash before having a heart-to-heart with Danny Romalotti. While Tessa Porter kisses Daniel Romalotti Jr. in a drunken moment, Kane Ashby will try to convince Devin Winters that he's a changed man. Kane may end up discouraged in the aftermath and become more willing to surrender to temptation with Phyllis, since all signs point to them sizzling together. At Mariah's facility in Boston, she'll wrestle with her painful history. Mariah will recall the horror she inflicted on Will Hensley, but that was really just a response to the trauma Ian Ward put her through. It looks like Ian may visit Mariah for more tormenting, though that visit will likely just take place in her own mind. On another note, Sally Spectra will make a big play for Audra'S and perhaps work to help her stay employed at Abbott Communications, despite Jill Abbott and Billy Abbott's reservations. Next, Sienna Bacall has some pivotal scenes coming up since she'll meet Nick Newman in person and face questions. Kyle Abbott will also see Sienna talking to Holden Novak, so that'll put Sienna on the inquisitive Abbott's radar and lead to his interrogation of her too. Claire will get updates on Noah's medical crisis and stop by the hospital to see him, so Sharon will appreciate the sweet gesture. By the week of October 27th to 31st, Victoria Newman should make her way to Los Angeles as well. Although Victoria will want to be there for Nick, she may also feel the need to watch over Claire and stop her from making any impulsive moves with Holden. Kyle will remain determined to prove that Holden is bad news and may uncover some shockers on his latest mission. Maybe Kyle could even assist Nick when it comes to figuring out who tried to wipe out Noah. While Kane and Phyllis navigate a possibly passionate new dynamic, Danny and Christine will finish off any final preparations for their nuptials. The big day should finally arrive during the week of November 3 to 7, so Christine and Danny fans will be eager to see them tie the knot. November 4th will also mark Lucas Adams' debut as a Noah Newman recast. Noah's coma wake-up call is ahead, but he may not awaken as quite the same man due to his brain injury. Of course, Detective Burrow will also get busted, since he's apparently not doing legitimate police work based on his suspicious phone call. You can bet Nick's going to blast Burrow sooner or later and demand to know who he's actually working for. Roger Howarth's debut is also coming up in the not-too-distant future, so viewers will be eager to see if he's playing Sienna's lover, Mitch, or someone else instead. The Young and the Restless spoilers say some major revelations will heat things up in LA, so stay tuned. The Young and the Restless spoilers are in for Monday, October 20th, 2025. In the next episode, fans can expect Nate Hastings to receive an unexpected invitation. Phyllis Summers plots her revenge. Plus, Christine Blair's bachelorette party doesn't go as planned. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Let's start off with Christine, who is having her bachelorette party. Everyone was having a good time until Phyllis crashed the event. Fans saw the first part of that in Friday's episode. In Monday's episode, fans can expect Christine to try to evict Phyllis from her party. However, Red won't want to leave and will insist on ruining the bride-to-be's special moment. At some point, Phyllis must get escorted out. However, it is teased that Christine's party takes an unexpected turn. It is also stated that the next episode will feature Phyllis plotting her revenge. Fans already saw Christine call out Phyllis for being mostly alone during her life. It was true and struck a nerve with Phyllis, although she tried to cover. So, what is Phyllis going to do to ruin Christine and Danny Romalotti's wedding? The Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, October 20th reveal that Michael Baldwin will be on a joyous mission. The man will try to give Danny a memorable and incredible bachelor party. However, it is suggested that Danny's bachelor party could come with some unexpected twists. Next up, we have Nate, who gets an unexpected invitation. Victoria Newman is a bit worried about Claire Grace Newman. The brunette is also concerned about Noah Newman. Victoria was going to send Claire a text about Noah. However, Victoria might want to go to Los Angeles herself to see Claire, as well as to support Nick Newman and Sharon Newman. Will Victoria invite Nate to come on the trip with her? They have been reconnecting lately. Victoria is still grieving, but one day she might move on. Meanwhile, Nate is single again and is really coming through for Victoria as a super supportive friend. Fans might also see what the heck is going on with Noah's story. Who ran him off the road, and what is up with that suspicious Detective Burrows? Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of October 20th, 2025? The Young and the Restless spoilers document that Claire Newman is upset. Her attempt to get away from Kyle Abbott didn't drive the message home. Instead, he flew to Los Angeles, California to monitor her. Holden Novak is offering something Kyle used to. He represents the positive elements Claire saw in Kyle when they first got together and developed their friendship into a romantic relationship. Kyle is concerned that Holden's is a few steps in the process of replacing him in Claire's heart. Her decision to break from Kyle with no set reconciliation leaves him with what was an unthinkable option but might come true. Holden had to know that taking Claire to the bar where he used to go with Audra'S was risky. Sure enough, Sienna Bacall came to the table where they were sitting and mentioned uncomfortable topics. Claire didn't seem fazed by what Sienna said, including the comments about Audra, whom she hilariously referred to as Audrey. But Holden didn't like that exchange one bit. He wants to present himself as a clean alternative to Kyle's dirty manipulation. Claire likely wasn't bothered because she doesn't yet have the depth of feelings for Holden that he already has for her. Like Kyle, Audra can't control her behavior. They share that trait in common, which is just one reason why they clashed when working for Victor Newman at Glissade. Audra fell for Kyle, similar to how Holden has fallen for Claire. Kyle assumed Audra shared his view that their brief connection was not about love. He was wrong. Kyle is the man Audra loves. She was fond of Nate Hastings and may have been falling in love with him. But Kyle is the first man she was moved by, and that has driven her vengeful behavior after he rejected her multiple times. Going back to Audra would be terrible at first. They aren't a match because of their mutual volatile natures. Claire was a follow-up to Summer Newman, which felt pushed and rushed. Lanier's excellent version of that character had plenty of plot space to play out, and just as much with Kyle. But a decision was made to put the characters Miller and Aaron portray together. However, maybe when they are honest with each other, their hearts will open and their perspectives will change. Yet, getting from here to there will involve intense pushback from connected characters. Great soap isn't based on smooth dealings. Intensity, drama, and wild fluctuations draw hearts and minds to the screen. Pairing Kyle and Audra might burn hot. Whether they would last would be worth the watch. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal a preview clip has been released for the week of October 20th, 2025. It shows Tessa Porter kissing Daniel Romalotti Jr. Kyle Abbott watches Holden Novak. Plus, Phyllis Summers crashes Christine Blair's Bachelorette party. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Let's start off from the beginning of the preview clip. First up, we see Holden sitting with a lady with long hair, maybe Sienna. They are sitting at a table at the hotel in public view. Kyle watches from afar, studying the scene. While Holden is having his meeting, Claire Grace Newman walks up behind Kyle. The blonde demands to know what Kyle is doing. That is when the young man says, "The more important question is what is Holden doing, and who is he doing it with?" Kyle is being pretty ridiculous and stalkerish. How many times does Claire have to say she's not doing anything with Holden? So what does it matter who he talks to? The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of October 20th reveal that the preview clip also shows Christine having her party, most likely a bachelorette party. The blonde is all dressed up and having a great time with her closest friends. That is when Phyllis interrupts. The redhead yells out, "So sweet! Not a dry eye in the house!" Of course, everyone, including Christine, wants to know what Phyllis is doing there. Instead of leaving, the redhead decides to crash her rival's party. Isn't Phyllis a bit old to be acting like this? Sheesh! Get a life, lady! Over in a hotel, Tessa walks up the stairs but stumbles. It seems that she might have drowned her sorrows after that disastrous meeting with Mariah Copeland. When the brunette starts to fall, Daniel catches her. Then, Tessa looks longingly at him and plants a passionate kiss on his lips. While this might be surprising to Daniel, he actually does have feelings for her. At the same time, would he just be a rebound? We will have to keep watching to find out. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of October 20th, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. Young and the Restless spoilers for October 2024. 2025 reveals Sally Spectra pushing back and Nick Newman absolutely furious. As we always do on Early Edition Day, we start with what is going to happen the rest of this week, and then we're going to talk about what's ahead next week, so you have the context for all those spoilers. Kyle Abbott heads to Los Angeles to win back Claire Grace Newman. He shows up at her hotel with flowers, smiling, but she's not happy to see him. Kyle confesses that Victoria Newman told him where to find her, and Claire doesn't like that at all. Still, he insists he's there to protect her from Holden Novak. Claire pushes back hard. She told Kyle she needed time and space, but there he is again. When he asks her out for that night, she refuses, saying she already has plans with Holden. When Kyle keeps pressing, Claire makes it clear she's made her choice. Holden shows up, and Kyle demands he leave them alone. Claire reluctantly gives Kyle a few minutes, while Holden waits downstairs. Kyle opens up about his heartbreak, upset that Claire dumped him and ran off with Holden. Claire shrugs, reminding him she asked for breathing room, but he kept trying to control her. His behavior only reinforces why she left. Kyle insists he loves her, but Claire says she needs to find herself and can't do that under his watchful eye. Meanwhile, back in Genoa City, Victoria tells Nate Hastings about Noah Newman's car crash. Nate plans a large donation to University Hospital in honor of his late brother. Victoria also regrets giving Kyle Claire's location. Back in LA, Sharon Newman tells Nick their son Noah suffered serious injuries, facial and skull damage. After surgery, Noah pulls through, but his parents are shaken. Sharon is distraught that another of her children has been hurt after Cassie and Faith's accidents. they can't understand why Noah was all the way out in Malibu so late at night. Nick recalls Noah seeming nervous the last time they talked. When they finally see him, his face is completely bandaged. On Thursday, October 16th, Sharon and Nick cross paths with a mysterious stranger, Detective Burrow, who's investigating Noah's crash. Meanwhile, Mariah Copeland is stunned by a surprise visit from Tessa Porter at the mental health facility where she's receiving treatment on Young and the Restless. Nikki Newman decides to handle matters personally and confronts Kane Ashby about his dangerous AI project. On Friday, October 17th, Audra Charles faces a painful reminder of her past. It could involve Nate, Amy Lewis, or even Holden. At the same time, Nick continues digging for the truth behind Noah's crash, while Jack Abbott tries to mend fences with Billy Abbott. For the week of October 20th through the 24th, Kyle returns home from LA and lashes out at Audra, blaming her for everything, including Claire's exit with Holden. Meanwhile, Victor Newman, Adam Newman, and Chelsea Lawson Newman believe they've cornered Kane, but his alliance with Phyllis Summers could turn deadly if provoked. Billy struggles as Jill Abbott departs Genoa City for treatment in London. He's frustrated by her constant favoritism toward Kane and her influence over Abbott.com's funding. We'll also see tension between Sienna Bacall and Holden as past secrets threaten to surface. Nick remains focused on uncovering who targeted Noah, teaming up with Detective Burrow to get to the truth. Though Claire isn't cruel, she firmly rejects Kyle's pleas. He lingers in LA, hoping she'll change her mind, but Claire may need to tell him bluntly to leave town. Kyle's insistence on control may be the final straw for her. For now, she's moving on. With Holden, and without him. The Young and the Restless, spoilers for the week of October 20th, 24, suggest some explosive moments in the land of Genoa City. Plus, there will be a flurry of casting activity too. Find out who's coming and who's going on the CBS soap over the next 5 days, down below. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Danny Romalotti, played by Michael Damian, and Christine Blair, played by Laura Lee Bell, will enjoy some pre-wedding fun this week. Y&R fans can expect to see the Bug and the Rockstar during the Monday, October 20th show as they celebrate their respective Bachelor and Bachelorette parties at the GCAC. The guys will be upstairs, while the girls will be at the Jazz Lounge. And of course, Phyllis Summers will be lingering in the shadows to ruin everyone's fun. In addition to Cricket and Danny, Y&R fans will also see Abby Winters during Monday's show, as Melissa Ordway reprises the role. Plus, Tracy Abbott will join in on the pre-wedding festivities, as fan favorite Beth Maitland returns to the canvas to be with Cricket. Abby will help Christine celebrate her pending marriage to Danny, while Abby's hubby, Devin Hamilton Winters, hangs with the fellas. Expect some canoodling scenes between Dabby before the party's launch. In other news, actress Valentina Grace will enter the canvas as a medical professional treating Noah Newman at the Los Angeles hospital where he's staying. She'll be seen during the Thursday, October 23rd episode as she shares scenes with Noah's mom, Sharon Newman. Will Noah be okay? Could Valentina's character be connected to Detective Burrow? Y&R fans will have to tune in to find out. Are you pumped for the week of October 20th and 24? Which character are you most excited about seeing on screen? Comment below. Watch your favorite CBS soap daily and check out this site often for the best Young and the Restless spoilers, news, and updates. Something is off about Detective Burrow. Nick and Sharon felt weird about their interaction with Detective Burrow, and they could be right. On The Young and the Restless on October 17th, he told someone that he had spoken to Nick and Sharon and that they believed his story. Nick and Sharon continued their conversation with Detective Burrow, who wants to open up an investigation into their son's accident. He claimed that it could have been intentional. He said they were lucky to get the call about their son since they're not from around here. Nick wanted to know who was behind the call. However, Detective Burrow wouldn't share that information. He wanted to know what Noah was doing there. It sounded like he was trying to blame Noah for what happened. However, the detective claimed that he wasn't trying to blame Noah for the accident. He's just trying to get answers. But is he? Really? Nick and Sharon got a funny feeling about Detective Burrow, and they should. He appears to be up to something, but what? Was he hired to mess with the Newmans? Detective Burrow left the hospital and walked the streets of Los Angeles. He pulled out his phone and called someone. The detective informed the person that he had spoken to Nick and Sharon. Then, he told the person on the other end that they agreed to it. They seemed to go along with his story. Maybe Detective Burrow isn't what he seems, after all. Following the call, he texted the mystery person Nick's phone number. Once again, the Newmans are going through hell. They already went through enough this year alone. Y&R viewers remember when Ian Ward and Jordan teamed up to cause them horror, and then they were both killed in separate incidents. But are they actually dead? Or are they coming back from the dead to finish what they started? Maybe they're the mystery person on the other end of the phone. Or maybe the person that Detective Burrow spoke to was the witness who was at the scene of the crash. Maybe they hired this makeshift detective who's not what he appears to be. There is something strange about him, and we can't put our finger on it just yet.